Perfectly Baked Pork Chops, a comprehensive guide.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most loved meals across the globe, pork chops. And more specifically, we'll be focusing on the recommended baking time for pork chops at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So, whether you're an experienced cook or a novice in the kitchen, this guide is for you.
What should I know before baking pork chops?
Pork chops can be a tricky dish to master, primarily due to the fear of overcooking or undercooking. The first thing to remember is that the thickness of your pork chops will directly impact the cooking time. Generally, the thicker the chop, the longer it will take to cook. Also, remember that pork, like all meats, should rest after being cooked. This allows the juices to redistribute throughout the chop, making it juicier and more flavorful. So, always let your pork chops rest for at least 3 minutes after removing them from the oven before serving.
What's the recommended baking time for pork chops?
Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. If you're baking your pork chops at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, the time will vary depending on the thickness. But as a general rule of thumb, pork chops that are about 1 inch thick should be baked for about 25 to 30 minutes. However, the most reliable way to ensure your pork chops are perfectly cooked is by using a meat thermometer. Pork is safe to eat when its internal temperature reaches 145 degrees Fahrenheit.
Are there any tips for baking perfect pork chops?
Absolutely. Here are a few pro tips for you. 1. Season your pork chops well. This includes both sides and the edges. 2. Allow your pork chops to come to room temperature before baking. This promotes even cooking. 3. Don't forget to flip your pork chops halfway through the cooking time to ensure even browning. 4. And remember, don't skip the resting time after baking. And there you have it. With these guidelines in mind, you're well on your way to baking perfect pork chops at 350 degrees Fahrenheit every time. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to experiment a little and find what works best for you. Happy cooking!